here in central Arkansas this afternoon with Dan. Dan's got about 170 acres, and he has quite the hunting story out of this redneck blind. Grant was here in April of 2023, helped Dan and his family design a habitat and hunting improvement plan. They got to work, and Dan tagged a great buck just a few days ago. So I'm going to let Dan kind of tell you the story of this hunt, what happened out of this blind, and then we're also going to be sharing kind of an update about the habitat work Dan's been doing. So tell us about the hunt, Dan.
Well, we had a great buck, we call him Morgan. We've been watching this deer since he was 2 years old. We've got great pictures of him when he was 2, when he was 3, and now when he was 4. I harvested this deer. It was the first day of bow season here in Arkansas. It was a bow season opener, an evening hunt. Man, I had an exciting hunt. I probably saw about 10 or 15 different deer, wow. Probably 6 or 7 bucks. This plot here is about 4.5 acres. And I would say about an hour and a half before I harvested the deer, I saw a 4-year-old, a 3-year-old in various areas of the plot. And, you know, as the hunt unfolded, the deer ended up, you know, right in front of me. We harvested him at 20 yards, heart shot, and he expired about 75 yards later. I mean, right in front of me. It was a very exciting hunt, and I couldn't be more happy with the results.
I was actually, I think, sitting in a stand, and Dan texted me a picture of a lighted knock out in the food plot, and I go, oh boy, what do we got? So,
yeah. I had to build a little suspense, you know. That was my way of saying, hey, there's something cool going on here. You got, you know, I had to get your attention, you know.
But it wasn't very long before he was sending the picture of the
buck. Yeah. I was pretty pumped with that. I don't know why I didn't just come all the way out of the blind. I mean, if I'd been in a stand and hadn't been restrained, I might have come out of it. But I was pretty happy about that.
Yeah, super happy for Dan. Great buck for here in central Arkansas, anywhere. And what a cool hunt, seeing all those deer. And that's just part of the hunting strategy we laid out. I mean, this plot behind us and this blind location, I mean, we kind of put all this together. You were telling me just a bit ago, because this is my first time on the property. I'm kind of following up today. You were saying this plot looked like what's right over here, and you got to work and cleaned it out. Tell us about that.
Yeah,
transition.
This plot, I believe, is supposed to be 8 or 9 acres when we're finished. We came in right after Grant left. We went to work, and it was rough. We had cedar trees, pine trees. We had Bradford pears, invasives, sweet gum. We had it all, you know, because this was once pasture land. And so we went to work. You know, I have some of my own small equipment, so we went to work with small equipment. We went to work with a Mini X and a skid steer, and cleared off half of the plots. And then this spring, we came in and cleared off some more areas around the plots and cleaned off what will be the other half of the plot. And we're planning on burning that real soon and getting it going into plots next spring.
Yeah, you done great work cleaning this up. We're going to step over here, and I'm going to show you exactly what this looked like before Dan got to work. And just so you can see the before and kind of the after now that's opened up. He's got a blind here, and it all paid off with a big old buck on the ground. But let's check this out. Let's walk right over here and see what it used to look like. And you left that persimmon there.
Yeah, that persimmon was loaded last year and this year. I mean, I'm hoping the thing survives. Look at the branches are going to fall out of it.
That's awesome. A little soft mass right there, what, 20 yards from the blind?
Yeah. They love to come in and feed off these persimmons.
Yeah, that's great. And then we got a little oak here we left on the edge, dropping acorns, persimmons, extra little food source right here next to the blind. So you got right kind of a hard edge here. We got our plot.
Purposely left that hard edge there.
Yeah.
And then this area right down through here, that's what it all looked like. So I kind of think of it as 3 phases. You know, you've got the plot here that's cleared, then you've got what it originally looked like, and this area here that we're planning on leaving in natives. So we want to burn that off and get native species going in here in the spring to supplement everything that we're doing.
Yeah, so we got a lot of edge, transition area, all kind of dumping in to a big feeding destination.
Yeah, and there's a small plot right behind us, probably 50 yards this way.
So all going into the hunting strategy here and the design and layout of this plot and blind location. Now remember, folks, we're in a wicked drought. Do you remember the last time it rained, Dan?
I believe it was September 11th,
Okay.
and it was like half an inch, barely enough to get the drill out,
And
and
we
it
were
was go
dry.
time.
We were dry even before then.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it barely settled the dust, and then we've almost gone almost a whole month here without any rain. So we're pretty dry out here, but this was our food plot, and this is what it used to look like. Check this out. So here's the plot, and this is what it used to look like. Briars, blackberries, sweet gums, some Bradford pears, oaks, some cedars. And we went from that, did a little work, Dan did a little work, really opened it up, got sunlight to the ground, and put a blind up. And that's kind of phase one of making this food plot and adding food and improving this place. This is looking awesome, Dan.
Thank you. I needed to hear that because it's hard sometimes when you're doing this work. I love doing the work. I love that almost as much as I do hunting. I didn't think that I would, but you know, I really do love doing the work. When you have a tough time like a drought like this, it's time to buckle down and keep going. It's easy to get discouraged, but we're seeing progress everywhere we go. So,
And this has been a great project, not only you, but you've been working with your son, right?
it's been great, yeah. Most of what you see here, I say we do, but my son works for me full time. He's our equipment operator. So Harris gets a lot of credit for clearing these plots. It's kind of like a thing we do together. More like I say, hey, we need a food plot here. And Harris says, I can do it. So I couldn't do this without his help for sure. And it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. We need more Harrisons in the world saying, I can do it.
Yeah, well, you know, there's a payoff on that. There's a pretty nice buck still left in here. And Harris says that he's got a date in mind for this guy, you know.
Well, that's great. We're going to keep on tracking and looking at other portions of the property, but this is looking really good. All right, we've come to the back side of the large plot we were just at where Dan harvested his buck, but he's created a little hidey hole food plot back here. And just kind of tell me about this hunting strategy, how this all comes together, Dan.
Okay, this is a great little plot here. Grant drew this in as part of my plan when he came in. Many times we'll see bucks come out into that main plot really early in the evening. And then getting on toward the darker hours before they'll come on across that plot, they usually go out to the south of that plot, come down a road east, and then circle back and hit this plot before coming out into the main plot.
So it's almost like they're scent checking the larger plot and then coming back here to stage. And then I'm sure after dark, they go back into the large plot to feed.
Yep.
So this is a great little staging area, little hidey hole. And we're talking what, putting a tree stand right up in here?
Right back here.
So haven't gotten to that stage yet, but it's coming. Stage one with the hidey hole, playing into a big destination plot. Man, it's all coming together and looking really good. I mean, this tells, what did this look like just, a year ago or what?
Well, look around us here. Gum trees. This was gum tree central, and this was not an easy task because I've learned the hard way. You know, Grant has done some talking about, I think in some of the spring months on some episodes about gum trees, and I was laughing the whole time, right? Because if you don't get gum trees out by the roots, you've not seen them for the last time. And so, you know, it's a chore, even a small gum tree, when they clump up, to get rid of them.
Yeah, and we can't really spray through here because you got a bunch of hardwoods that we're wanting to protect. So sometimes we talk about treating gums with a Mazapir, but that's in pine stands. We've got so many hardwoods around here, we can't use an aerial application to knock out the gum. So we have to do a little more labor on them, but did a great job turning that into this, getting sunlight to the ground, getting some food in here, nice little bottleneck. Now we just need to stand over here.
Yeah, that's what we need.
Well, we're going to keep on and see what else we find.
All right.
So we've come around to another hidey hole location, and right behind us, all sweet gums, just thick. And you've got, you know, quite a few acres on the property that's like this. And this is just a desert, closed canopy forest, lots of stems, not a lot of sunlight hitting the ground. And there's really nothing there for deer. No food, no cover. Really all it is kind of a sanctuary because no hunter can really go in there. But we were just talking off camera. This is what a lot of your neighbors' properties look like, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We're the only food in the neighborhood. What's around us is stuff like that. And then on to another side of us, there's some cattle pasture. That's what we've got.
So you've come in, Harris over here's done a lot of work. Dan, you've come in and you've opened this up just a little bit, get a little sunlight to the ground to get some food, and you're seeing a lot more critters than when you first purchased the property.
Oh yeah, for 176 acres, we're pretty pleased with our deer count and especially, you know, our buck count. We're not going to give you our address though.
Because they got some good deer running around,
Yeah,
folks.
yeah,
They
yeah.
got some good deer. But they're doing great work. Remember, you don't have to outrun the bear, just outrun your buddy. And this is exactly what we talk about when it comes to improving habitat on property. They're only step one into this and they're seeing results. They've opened up enough to get some food on the ground, and you're seeing some results and beating your neighbors.
You know, we have some equipment. I have a construction company, and so when we can, we've come in and we're implementing Grant's plan step by step and doing what he kind of pointed out were the most important. Do these first, step one parts of the plan, and we're already having good result.
And that was part of that conversation with Grant, was prioritizing the projects, right?
That's correct.
To help
Yeah,
get you there
yeah.
faster.
Well, of course, every hunter's nostalgic, right? You grow up in the national forest and you're like, oh, I love these big trees. And Grant said, what you keep talking about, you know, down here in this valley where it's swirling and by the creek and up on the side of a hill with an oak tree where there's a lot of work. He said, I'm more excited about what's up top where you can get some food going and you're gonna see some improvement a lot sooner. And he's right.
And that wind's more consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And especially in the blinds, as you were telling me about your hunt the other night, you had deer all around you. You had the windows closed kind of at the beginning, and then when the deer came out, you opened. So that helps control your scent. That's part of that hunting strategy, that overall hunting strategy. Just finishing up tour of Dan and Harris's property, and I've been just gloating on them the whole day, just saying, man, you guys have just done a lot of work, and I'm super impressed by their work. You know, Harris is hand cut a lot of trails. As you know, trails are one of the most important features of a property. And I've got to say, we probably got miles of trails that Harris has cut. He's done really good work getting access all the way through this property. So no matter the wind direction, they can get around and to different hunting locations. But as we kind of wrap up, I just want to ask these guys kind of to share any insight to anyone that's interested in, you know, beginning habitat work or buying property or anything like that, what they would suggest, you know, keep in mind, or any tips they have. Just kind of pour into people and tell people what you've seen through this process.
Well, you can do a lot with less most of the time. It's a lot of hard work out here. And
you gotta have a good strong sun, but
yeah. But
yeah,
really, you got to just stay after it when you're out here working on this kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, we've done a lot. I mean, we actually first started food plotting. Harris got me involved watching the guys on GrowingDeer.tv many years ago, and you know, we started with 5 acres with a dream that we would have this much land one day. And I mean, back then it was everything by hand. I mean, we were so green. We started out with a Scott cedar with wheels on it running across the food plot. You know, that's how we started. So anybody with a dream to hunt and have a piece of property, improve it, can get outside and enjoy the outdoors and enjoy spending time together. We've had a lot of fun working together over the years.
And you've not only seen the habitat improve, but you've also seen the deer hunting improve.
Oh yeah, it's kind of 50-50 for me. I enjoy the land habitat work, but I enjoy seeing the deer's health improve and seeing more deer. And not just deer, other animals as well. We've actually seen a few turkeys. We hadn't talked about that yet today. This area, there's not been a lot of turkeys, but you know, certain times of year we're seeing turkeys up in our plots, not just down in the woods during acorn feeding time, but we've seen them up in our plots some. So we're going to work on the predators some this year and see if we can't see some more turkeys.
Yeah. There's no doubt in my mind these guys are going to keep working hard, and this property is going to get even better. And I'm really looking forward to sharing updates down the road with you from Dan and Harris's work. I hope you're able to get outside, maybe do some habitat improvement work, work on your, food plots, habitat, maybe be out there hunting. But no matter what, make sure you slow down, listen to the Creator and the purpose He has for your life. Thanks for watching Growing Deer.